Hi, welcome to Deep Dive TV. This is Questions Hour. I am Weikwa Jamalin. Today we'll be talking about road safety. You know, of late there have been an increase in the road accidents and a lot of things. So today we'll be educating ourselves. Okay, today our guest is George Williams Omari-Osei. He is the secretary at Odawna Welfare Committee. So based on his knowledge and experience at the office, I think he can help us in educating us in some of the issues, some of the ways we can prevent the petty accidents on our roads, as far as you and I are concerned. Okay, Mr. George Williams, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Begin with the conversation. What are some of the things you do at the office as the secretary of the welfare committee?
Thank you very much. The welfare committee comprises unions operating here. There is elected officers, and I am the secretary to the committee. What we do here is we coordinate the activities of all the transport unions here.
Since you've been in office, what are some of the common things that causes accidents on our roads?
Common things that cause accidents on our roads, there are many, and they differ. Main ones are human errors. When I say human error, the driver driving the vehicle is the main person who is supposed to take care of what goes on the road. He has to take care of the maintenance of the vehicle and himself. He must see that he himself is fit to drive. I'm saying he's not sick. He's fit to drive, and he has to master the road regulations, how to use the road. And so from the morning, he has to inspect his vehicle, see that everything is okay before he goes to the road. And on the road signs guide us on the road. We have some types of road signs. Some of them are erected. Some of them are marked on the road. So as you are going, maybe you don't know where you are going. You are new to the road. And so it's these road signs that will guide you, where you are to turn, where there's a curve, where there's a bridge, where there's a school, where there's a town. And it will tell you the speed limit that you have to go on the road.
Talking about road signs, do you think our institutions, they've given us enough education? Because I can't remember the last time I've watched or I've heard on radio that, oh, this sign is for this sign is for this. Do you think we need better education in terms of the road signs usage?
Well, the education is already there, because before you become a driver, you must know the road signs. This book I am holding will guide you on the road. This is the road signs book that you have to learn.
Okay.
Before they'll give you the license. So before you get the license, you must know what book this book tells you on the road.
So as a driver, all the drivers, they have this book?
They must have it. Because the DVLA makes sure that when you are a learner driver and you are going to take the learner's license, they will give you a copy. And you have to understand, you have to study it. And then it's based, whatever test they will do, is based on this book.
But do we have some drivers that have not been to school before?
Well, that was the former days. Nowadays, before they give you the license, you must at least attend JHS. And so every driver now is educated.
So basically all the drivers, they'll be able to read the content of
yes.
this book. Okay, so talking about the human error, do you think it's only the drivers or pedestrians or that use the road they can also cause accidents due to human errors?
Yes, they are all hazard on the road. That's why I'm saying human error. because whatever goes on the road, the driver, you have to manage it. When you are driving on a highway, for instance, anything that you see on the road is a hazard to you. They can cause accident. Whether pedestrian, whether animal crossing, whether parked vehicle, whether anything that you see on the road can cause accident. So you have to be very careful. That's why I'm saying human error. You have to see to it that everything is okay. You must drive defensively.
So is there a way we can do away with this main cause, which is human error?
We cannot do away completely, because
we can only reduce it.
Yes, it can be reduced. And accident is an accident. There are certain things you cannot prevent. It will have to. It happens. That is accident. Something that you cannot prevent it. But the others that you can prevent it. That's why I'm saying human error.
But is human error different from careless driving? Because some of the drivers, you might think they are in a way careless because they are driving and they look unconcerned. You know, is that also a human error or is careless driving?
It is human error. It's you, the driver, who has to take care of everything. So if you ignore or you fail to observe anything, it's going to cause it. So whether careless driving, you must know when to speed up. You must know when to slow down. If you don't do it, it's an error.
Okay.
And you must know when to overtake and when not to overtake. Even at the traffic light, you must know when to stop. When the yellow sign comes, that it is telling you to stop. And the red means stop behind the stop line. There's a stop line marked down on the road. So if you are able to observe all these things, automatically you go without accident. But if you fail to observe them and obey them, automatically you will get an accident or you cause an accident.
Okay. Do you think bribery and corruption also plays a role in our road accidents? Because some may argue that if, let me say, a police is at a checkpoint and then instead of making sure the right thing is being done, that police tries to take something and allow the driver to go. So some may argue that bribery and corruption tries to play a role. What do you say about that?
Bribery and corruption. That's why I don't agree with you. Because the policeman is not there to collect money from you. He's there to see that the right is there on the road. And if you know you are a mature driver and you know that a policeman is supposed to be there, what is the cause for accident? There's nothing. He's a friend to the driver because he is also there to protect the driver and the pedestrians.
As the welfare committee, you always check to make sure that these drivers, they don't use some cars that are not qualified to go on a journey. Because last time I came to Circle to take a car home, and then I realized that car, they have to push it before it was able to spark. So I was kind of like, is this allowed? So what do people do as a welfare committee? Do you normally check these cars?
We check the cars, but let me tell you, there are certain petty issues that cannot be
do away with.
For instance, we are using batteries and they are all electric cars. Anything can go off at any time. Maybe you are working, your car is okay from the morning. You parked, when you load and you want to start your car, it will not start. Your battery can go off anytime. And it's electrical fault. So that when it goes off and they push you, it can the car can start and then you go away. You go and check.
Isn't that car supposed to be packed and you work on the battery, or
no? Sometimes you will not see it. When you want to start before you can detect that fault. And so when you go and check it with the electricians. You go to the workshop, they will check it for you. But you have parked, you are working, you park your car. You've parked your car. So after loading and you want to start, then the fault will come itself.
Okay.
That doesn't mean the car is not good. No. There are certain petty things that can happen.
Okay, with all that you've said, what do you have to say about the road sector institutions?
Well, the road sector, they are doing well. But the problem is, you see, some of the roads, due to lack of maintenance, they are not fit for roadway. Because at certain point, you get to a point, you see a lot of potholes around. And when you are driving through those potholes, it's not easy. Those ones can cause accidents. But we are appealing to the road sector, those in charge, to make sure that all the roads are roadworthy. They are good for us to use, so that we don't cause problem for others. And then the road signs, some of the areas, they have the rated ones are broken down. They must be repaired or restored. And the ones on the road, that the markings on the road, when it rains, the flood will cover it with dust or sand, and those ones must also be cleared. And then the lights, where the lights are not good, the lights must always shine so that you can see the road clearly.
Okay, how do people manage long journey drivers? Let's say if somebody is driving from Accra here to far away place like part of the north, how do people make sure that driver gets there safely?
Oh, there's a rule that you don't have to drive continuously more than 4 hours. So, but the big buses, some of them have 2 drivers. That when you drive 4 hours or more, you change over. The other one will take over. And there are those ones that have 1 drivers. There are certain rest stops along the route. That when you get there, you have to stop, and then for the passengers to rest or buy something for you, the driver, to rest. Or make sure you check 1 or 2 things on your car, especially your tires and the water level and the brake fluid level. Because something hot check. When you hot and you check all these things. So you give yourself about between 10-15 minutes, then you continue your journey. By doing that, you will not feel sleepy and then cause accident. Okay.
I've been hearing this, that some drivers, due to the long journey distance or due to 1 or 2 reasons, they do take in some, excuse me to say, drugs or alcohol for them to be able to last in terms of driving. What do you have to say about that? Is it true? Being someone who has been at the office, have you received such complaints or what?
Well, I also do here, but I've not received any complaint about that. But you know, in every house there is Mensa. There are bad notes in every institution. Some of the drivers will indulge themselves, go and take it and go. But it has not happened before us. Because when it happens, we will not allow you to drive. Yeah, we will give the passengers to another car.
Okay, in those drivers that drive around town, they say they don't go for long journey distance. How do you check those drivers? Because anytime I go to the station and I'm in the car, for a moment, when the car is full, I realize that the one loading the car, which I might think is the mate, will take the steer and just look for his colleague to come and be the mate, and then they are off. How do you check those people?
You see, when you come to the station, it's true that the driver has a mate who is helping. But some of the mates that you see, they are not mates, but they are assistant drivers. They are also drivers, but maybe at that moment they don't have cars of their own, so they are helping the driver. So when you see them driving, you think it's a mate. No, it's not a mate, it's a driver who has a license, but he's also helping the driver. In few instances that you see a mate moving the vehicle, but before a mate will be allowed to move the vehicle, that means even he knows how to drive, but he hasn't got the license. Because if you don't know how to drive, you cannot move the car.
Okay. So the pedestrian and the driver, what do you think they have to do right in order to reduce these road accidents?
A pedestrian should also be educated. You must know how to use the road. Though the road is not for the vehicle alone, there are other road users, including pedestrians. That is why the road is sometimes marked where the pedestrian has to cross the road and how to use the road. For instance, if you are walking along the road, you must face the vehicle coming to you so that when there's anything, you can also see and then take precautionary measures. So the pedestrian must also learn how to use the road, because the road is not for the pedestrian alone. That is why when the pedestrian crossing, you are getting there's a mark, a road sign that is showing you that the next few minutes you get the pedestrian crossing, and that's advance warning, so that you slow down for if a passenger or a pedestrian crossing who is ready to cross is there, you stop for him to cross. Some of the pedestrians, they'll be standing there doing their own thing, but others will be seen ready to cross. Then you slow down or stop for them to cross.
Okay, in an instance where the pedestrian is standing there doing his or her own thing, if a car runs into the pedestrian, is it the pedestrian's fault or the driver?
You see, it is one major issue that we have to do, because there's a place you have to use, especially for you as pedestrian. You have to use the pavement. If you are not using the pavement and you use the main road and you are knocked down by the car, though you have been knocked down, the driver will pass through processing through the police. You'll be taken to court, and because when it happens, they will take measurements, and when they get to the court, the magistrate or the judge will have to look at how the accident happened. Sometimes the driver will be set free because it is not his fault. You are in the middle of the road. But in the moment it happens that way, the driver, you cannot leave the passenger there or the pedestrian there. You have to take him or her to the hospital before you pass through this process to the court, before you can be set free.
Going back to education on the road, do you think we've had enough education?
It should be continuous. It's not one stop education. It should be continuous. That is why DV, National Road Safety Authority, is introducing periodic education for drivers. Periodically, they will come to the station to educate drivers on issues.
So, as the welfare committee here, do you people sometimes educate these drivers, or you only check?
Yes, we do. We do.
How do you do that?
We invite resource persons from DVLA, from the police, from National Road Safety, and they come to talk to them. They give us, sometimes they bring in these driving school instructors. They come to educate us on how to use the road and everything on the road. So when they finish the lectures, we ask them questions, they answer us, and then they make sure that we are satisfied before we go.
Okay. Mr. Williams, Omari-Osei, what is the last thing that you have to tell drivers and pedestrians watching you right now?
Thank you very much. I think my advice to pedestrians is that the road belongs to everybody, and everybody has a way of using the road. They must keep using the road the right way. And then my fellow drivers, they should make sure that life is precious, and for that they should drive with care. Thank you.
Okay, today we had a conversation with Mr. Omari-Osei, the Secretary of Odawna Welfare Committee. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.